They better enjoy it because that's the last one they're going to get as a real estate agent.
Too true, too true.
I know yesterday turned out to be beautiful. Like, I didn't really know what the weather was going to be, but it did turn out to be beautiful. We'll just give it a couple more minutes.
I was about to say, we have a freezing pool and that still does not stop my kids. Like, it was so disgusting on, what day was that? Sunday. And they're just like, we're going to go swimming. I'm like,
Oh my God.
good for you.
Okay. You're resilient. I'm just going to fill my teacup up. I'll be back in 1 second. Nobody move.
Maggie, do you know how many people we're supposed to have this morning?
I do not. I do not. I have not been on the other ones.
We had someone from North Carolina on the call. Kaylee, are you from North Carolina? Or North, that's North Central probably, huh?
North Central.
Okay. It's like
Yeah.
North Carolina. Wow, that's amazing.
North Central. I was about to write Leominster on it too. I was like, that doesn't.
Oh, I guess I should write mine on there too. Good call.
Leominster's kind of long. It's hard to fit in this.
Leominster, yeah.
I know we have a great big group signed up for Ignite this session. So hopefully, I know it's the day after the long holiday weekend. Everybody seems a little bit more tired, I feel like, on that Tuesday. So how are you guys? Does anybody have any feedback on the first couple of sessions that we've done so far? Any ahas that you want to share? Any thoughts? Any questions?
Not everyone at once, okay?
No one learned anything. Wow.
Is it good so far? Thumbs up, good?
I'll start my video.
Hi, Isabel.
Hi.
Yeah, if everybody can come off a video as well, that's a great idea. Thanks for pointing that out, Isabel. It's so much better when we can see each other. It's better for interacting. So if you can come off a video, that would be awesome. Isabel, did you have anything to share over the last couple of sessions?
Well, I really liked the script part. I am
Mhm.
trying to get the scripts in Spanish. I'm not having much success. I did contact Puerto Rico over the weekend, and they're gonna try to help me.
Oh, great.
Yes, they're gonna try to get me the scripts in Spanish. If not, I can translate them because I am a legal interpreter as well, so that's no problem.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And it is a good point. They should be available in multiple languages. Absolutely. I agree.
I know they have them in Portuguese because my coach sent me the scripts, but they were in Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, nope, that's in Portuguese.
All right, well, let's get started. It's 9:02. Welcome everybody to Ignite. Today we are number 4. And we are talking about your database is your business. And Maggie McDowell is here with me and Amanda Howard is here with me. And so between the three of us today, we are going to be your guide through this section. We want it to be super interactive. So if you have questions or you have comments, either raise your hand or just take yourself off mute and definitely get involved in the conversation. In real estate, I mean, your database, this is such an important session because your database is everything. This is where you are going to keep all the leads that you're getting. This is how you're going to communicate with your contacts and form and really just kind of nurture all those relationships that you are creating on a daily basis. And this is where all of your business is going to, come from. And as you go through the process, your past clients are going to refer you business going forward, as long as you're staying in contact with them. So your database is so important. And so this is a really exciting session, I think. Amanda, do you have anything to add to kick us off?
I don't. I'm excited about it too. And I'm not just saying that. That is why I picked this session. So hopefully you guys will get some great nuggets out of this one.
This is my favorite subject. I absolutely get passionate about contacts and databases. Like this is the one for sure. Pay attention, guys.
All right, awesome. So you guys have your participant guide. So I'm just going to start going through here. So we're just going to, like I said, if you have anything to add to the conversation, please do as we go along. But here we are. So we are in your database is your business. So as real estate agents, there's two things that we do every single day, and that is we grow our business and we run our business. And so today we're talking about how we're going to grow our business, and that is through our contacts and through our database. So I know some of you here are here at Keller Williams. I know that we probably have some of you on here who are in the process of getting your real estate license as well. So all of this is, so if you're not completely in real estate yet, don't worry, because this is all stuff that you're going to be able to apply. For our agents here who are with Keller Williams, we're going to refer to our command system, which is Keller Williams platform. So you're going to hear us talking about command. And if we have any agents on here who are with other companies, don't worry. If you have a system already that you're using, command is just the CRM that we are referring to. Okay, so that way I don't want anybody to get confused on the lingo when we start talking about command. So today we're going to talk about growing our business, and we're going to talk about lead generating for buyers and sellers. And that is how we're going to feed our database. So two things to be successful is to have that database and then also have a consistent schedule in which you are feeding that database. And that is through, right? How are we growing our database? What activity is going to lead to that? Anybody?
Conversations.
Anybody? Say it again.
Conversations.
Yep,
And then enter them?
conversations. Absolutely. And so when we're having conversations, what are you doing? It's like it's the most important activity as real estate agents that we can do for ourselves and for our businesses.
Lead generation.
Exactly. It comes from lead generation. And there are so many forms of lead generation, but it all comes down to those, right? You're lead generating, you're having conversations, and then you're making sure that those go into your database. Okay. So in talking about the big picture, what exactly is a database? So let's start there. So a database, it's actually a record of all of those contacts that you have. So if anybody, even if you're just starting out, your database is in your phone, right? So we all either have iPhones or Androids, and we have our contact app within there. Right now, like that's your database. If you're not using a CRM right now and you're like, oh, I don't have a database, you do. You just look into your contacts in your phone, and like all of those people that you know and that you communicate with, whether regularly or every once in a while, or they just called you once because they had a question about something and they ended up in your contacts, that's your database. And you can start with that, right? And put that into some form of CRM, whether it's command, whether it's another one, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet. I can remember like back when before I was here at Keller Williams, I was like a CRM junkie because I always wanted to know like what the best CRM was and what was going to be the most easiest thing for me to do. So I was like one of those agents who would like check out every single piece of software out there, and I would search for what is the best CRM? What is the best CRM? And I had heard from Tom Ferry, if any of you are familiar with Tom Ferry, who is a real estate coach. Tom Ferry said, the best CRM for you is the one that you're going to use, whether it's Excel, whether it's command, whether it's whatever one you're going to use and use consistently, that is the best CRM for you. Just make sure you have one in some form.
And Rhonda, I just want to add that can be added to anything, right? Lead generation. The lead generation that you're going to do is the best lead generation. So that's applicable to so many parts of this business for sure.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Amanda. Absolutely. There's 100 ways to get there. So you just have to find the one that you can be consistent at for all of this. Okay, so besides being the record of all of your contacts, your CRM is also the place where you're going to nurture and manage those relationships like we already talked about. It's where there's going to be that out of that, as you do that, you're going to have a predictable flow of business that comes from your database. There's a lot of agents out there that just work their database, and that's their lead generation. They just make sure that they're going back and they're communicating with everybody in their database on a regular basis. And what that does is it keeps generating new leads for them, because your contacts know people who may be thinking of buying, selling, or investing. And they're going to say, oh, you know what? I just heard from Kaylee the other day, and you know what? You need to reach out to her and you need to talk to her. Or they're going to call Kaylee and say, hey, Kaylee, my neighbor across the street, I was over there the other day. They said they're thinking of buying or selling or buying and selling. And I gave them your contact information. You should really reach out to them. And so lastly, what it does, and was what we're talking about, is having that database and having that systematic approach. And I apologize if it's loud outside my window here. They're doing the lawn today. It's going to improve those. It's going to improve those relationships. So, that's the fourth part of having your database. Okay, so for you guys, now you guys have your participant guide. So let's go over to page 3. And you're going to see some questions there. And I'd like you guys just to take maybe just 5 minutes and just write down some of those, write down those answers. Does everybody have that, page 3? And then we're going to just come back. We're just going to come back and stay in the group, and we're going to come back and just and share your thoughts.
Rhonda, we've got some questions in the chat. Are we in the participation guide, the participant guide?
I'm uploading it now in case people don't have it.
Okay,
Thanks.
yep. And it's going to be on page 3 of your participant guide. I'm actually just bringing it up right now so I can show you guys here.
For anybody, it's in the chat for anybody who needs it. Okay.
Yep. So there's 4 questions there. What is the purpose of the database? What makes a database valuable? What other industries use a database for prospecting and marketing? And what makes targeted marketing effective? So just take a few minutes and answer those, and then we're going to come back and share what you guys think.
Tingsboro.
I saw that, Maggie.
I need more of this.
For anyone that may have just popped on in the last few minutes, we're just working on page 3 of your participant guide and just answering those 4 questions. We have just a few more minutes and then we're going to come back and share. You guys ready? Did I give you enough time? Okay, let's come back together. So for anybody, I know, I think somebody else just joined us as well. So we're just working on page 3 of your participant guide. We were just taking a few moments to answer those 4 questions on there. So let's start with the first one, and please just, unmute yourself and, share your thoughts. So number 1, what is the purpose of your database?
Well, like you said, lead generation.
Mhm. Awesome.
Keeping track of, your contacts.
Yep.
And helping save time and administration, like a place to collectively take notes on all of your people and your actions.
Charles, I love that. It is, I absolutely love that, because if you're using your database and really kind of, using it to the highest level, you will be able to go into any one of those contacts at any time and know exactly what you have talked to them about, what your conversations have been, and how much you have communicated with them. That's awesome.
It also helps you know how frequently to keep in touch with people. Will remind you when you need to do certain tasks, which is, something you won't just forget about if you don't have it recorded somewhere.
Exactly.
So important. A good database works for you, right? It makes you money. If you don't do things with it, if you don't set reminders, if you don't organize it, it's just a phone book at that point. So you want to make sure that your database is making you money.
And one thing I want to add on that is oftentimes people will be like, do you give me leads? And I want to honestly be like, hand me your phone and I will hand it back to you, because those are all the leads that you need and they cost you $0. And at this most simplest form, I'm like, listen, your database puts food on your table and keeps your lights on. It is your survival in this business.
I would also say that it's a place where you can remind everybody in your database that you're the real estate agent. If you keep in touch with them, they'll think of you when they think of real estate.
Mhm. Love that, Cynthia.
I do like having the databases, for instance, having personal information like birthdays, anniversaries, where you can group those things into specific categories and you can send a quick note out just to remind people that you're still here. And of course, there is reoccurring clients that buy a house now and 2 years from now they sell, but they remember you because you send them that birthday card or that birthday note. Or I know some, well, my sister's also an agent, and with Thanksgiving and fall coming around, she actually, for her clients that's close by, she'll take an apple pie or something like that, and she'll drop it off, and they love it. They love it, and that's the clients that remember her and refer her out to others. So it's just constantly reminding yourself.
Yep, absolutely. That's using your database to a very high level. Absolutely. And being able to, and as Maggie said, like having your database work for you, right? Because there's many things in many of the database systems out there. I know for Command, for our system here, we have things called smart plans, which will stay in touch with your database for you automatically. You can kind of set it and forget it. It will automatically send out emails. You can connect a texting service to it. It will automatically send out text messages and then remind you, give you a task when it's something that you need to do, either, you know, a phone call or you're going to send something in the mail. So you can, you know, by having that database, it will help just guide you along. So it's not daunting. It becomes, you know, it becomes very manageable for you. And Nellie is exactly right. I mean, you know, your database, they're going to buy and sell every 7 to 10 years. So your database regenerates itself every 7 to 10 years and sometimes sooner, right? Especially in this market. There's many sellers out there who just bought a couple of years ago and now they're selling, or they bought a couple of years ago and now they're selling because the market has just changed so dramatically that they're really able to captivate on the seller's market right now and sell their home at a premium. So it's like even happening sooner in the market environment that we're in currently. All right, so let's go to the second question. Those were great answers. So the second question is, and I think we were kind of already talking about this, does anybody have anything to add about what makes your database valuable? What makes it the most valuable thing to you?
It's your paycheck.
Yes, Carol, I love that. Yes, it is your paycheck. That is how you're going to generate business and generate your income, is from your database. That makes it super valuable. Anybody else?
I want to
the
add to
more
that.
contacts.
Go ahead,
You
Shane.
go ahead.
No,
Okay.
go ahead, Shane.
So the more contacts, again, equals more money. So that's what makes it valuable. So especially if you keep in contact with your clients, you know, it's more valuable to you than another agent, because they might have the same contact you have, but if you're keeping in touch with them, it's going to be your clients for life. So that's what makes it, you know, more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense. And Shane, I want to build off of that, because the bigger your database is, you're exactly right. You know, there are a million gazillion real estate agents out there. Don't think about it just for your business today. Think about it in terms of your retirement plan as well. The more robust and complete your database is, that is your retirement plan. That is something that you can either sell outright or that you can work on a referral business once you decide to retire as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so number 3, what other industries use a database for prospecting and marketing?
I would have to say all.
Yeah. There's probably not a single company industry out there that's not using a database. I can't think of one. Can anybody, let's like do it the opposite way. Can anybody think of an industry that doesn't have to use a database? Nope. Nope. Not even somebody starting out, not even like, our teenage babysitters out there, right? Even like if you're just, you have a babysitting business, right? You have a database, right? You have your list of your clients who you've babysat for, and you're out there talking to people. You're, lead generating by putting your name at the library or putting your name, wherever, right? And then you're taking those contacts and you're putting them in there and you're calling them to see if you can babysit for them. So it goes all the way down to, there's really nobody out there who is not using the database, is not the center of their business. Okay, and then lastly, what makes targeted marketing effective?
You just want to be sure you're reaching the right people. We're not targeting 14-year-olds. Well, I guess we could because of their parents, but you're working on, the people who are going to be in the market for what you have to sell.
Right, exactly. So like targeted marketing, right, Linda's right. You're figuring out what your demographic is, who you want to market to, who's that target, and then making sure that the message that you're sending to them, making sure that the marketing that you're sending to them is relevant to them. And that's what's going to make it effective. Does that make sense?
I have something to add. I'm guessing that it probably needs to be consistent too. Like you have to do it more than just once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point, Elizabeth. Absolutely. If and there's a lot of agents out there who will give up after the first or second time. They might choose a neighborhood to market to, and they might send out some postcards, right, and target that neighborhood, and then they don't get anything. Nobody calls them, and so they go, oh, I'm just not going to do it again, right? I didn't get anything, so I'm just going to move on. Yet consistency and doing it again and again, that is what's going to build those relationships to bring that business to you. So you are absolutely right.
And that's where a good CRM system is really going to play its role as well, is that consistency, right? So think of for sale by owners. When there's a new for sale by owner, everyone and their brother is reaching out to that for sale by owner. If no one reciprocates that communication or calls back, they give up. I forget specifically what the statistics are. Most agents will reach out 3 times. On average, you need to reach out 7 to 12 times to a for sale by owner before they even reciprocate communication to you. Real life example for myself, I met someone at an open house. He never returned a phone call, never returned a text, never returned an email. 18 months later, he said, I appreciate your persistence. Will you come list my house? So no communication is not a no. And even a no is not necessarily a no. It's just a not now. So it is that consistency. And there's a saying that says, go for no. Okay, go for no, because every no you go for, you are closer to the yes.
Exactly. Okay, awesome. So I realized that I was being a bad Ignite instructor and didn't bring the slides up earlier. So I'm going to do that now. So that way I don't get fired. We're going to go to the slides. Does anybody have anything else to add on the questions that we were just chatting about? Okay. Move us out of the way. Oh, I don't want to share it. Oops, that's not right. I want to move it. Okay, can you guys all see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to where we are. So this is what we were just talking about. So these were the questions that we just answered. So I know on the next page in your participant guide, we're going to talk about the 3 levels of a millionaire database. Now, has anybody here, are you familiar with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the MREA?
Yes.
Red book, there it is. Yes. Also, a little plug here. I believe in October, Maggie and Amanda, tell me if I'm right or wrong. I believe we might be breaking that down. That might be the next series that we are doing here in Keller Williams, New England region. We did it back in, was it June, I think? And we met 3 days a week, 3 mornings, 8:30 to 9:15. And we just broke down that book little by little. It was absolutely amazing. This book is like the Bible. So stay tuned for when that series is coming out. It definitely is a great one because it just breaks that book down, you know, little by little by little. So all these things that we are talking about, the systems, the models, the tools come right from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So let's talk about the 3 levels of a Millionaire Database. So level 1 is the essential. That means that you have their name, you have their contact information, past business and their past contact records, right? That history that we are talking about. So that way, you know, the conversations that you have had with them and the interactions that you've had with them, and that it's at will communication, meaning that it's a two-way communication. So effective, that means that you've obtained permission, you collect personal information, insights, and preferences. So you maybe know their birthday, you know, a little bit more information about them. Segment and group based on 1 to 6. Amanda, do you know what that refers to? I'm gonna look in my little guide.
Yeah, so you put them in groups for the 1 through 6. So you want to make sure that you have like groups for these certain things for different people.
So that means you have buyer, like you have, so your groups would be maybe buyers, sellers, so tags, right? As we call them.
Right, different tags, right? So down
Okay,
names,
good.
okay, so yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and so what that does, what that does for you by putting your contacts into groups, right? So you might have buyers, you might have sellers, because then this is going to go back to the targeted marketing that we were talking about. So you might market differently to somebody who might be in your seller group versus somebody who might be in your buyer group, right? Or you may have preferred vendors, right? That can be a group. Like your contacts could also be lenders and insurance companies. And so they could also be preferred vendors that you communicate with, because they can also be a source of leads for you. So, you know, landscapers, painters, contractors. So that can be a separate group, and you may communicate differently to them, and you might target your marketing to them differently. So by putting them into groups, it's going to help us to communicate more effectively based on who we're talking with.
One thing I want to add there, Wanda, is we also tell you to, and different agents do this different way. You have to do what works in your business. They prioritize their clients, group A, B, C, D. A is someone who will likely purchase within the next 30 days, B being 60 to 90, and so on and so forth. Because here's the thing, you don't need to spin your wheels on someone that's a year and a half out. I am not saying that you don't reach out to them. I'm saying maybe you just do not reach out to them with the intensity that you would reach out to an A group contact.
Perfect, Amanda. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. By segmenting them into what their timeline is, that's absolutely right.
Also really good too for your real sphere of influence, the people who are going to give you business, right? That's the people you want to spend your money on, right? You don't have a ton of money to spend, especially when you're new. So you're not going to spend a ton of money on your leads or maybe your just mets, but you will on your real core people. So
perfect. Okay, and then exceptional, automated custom communication built around triggers. And this, we were talking about smart plans in our command database. And this is just having the ability to communicate in an automatic way with your database. So that way it becomes easier, it becomes more efficient for you, and it becomes consistent for you, right? Because you're doing all these things, even if you're away on vacation, your database is being communicated with. You are lead generating, even if you are not, in the office that day, because maybe you're on vacation, or maybe you're not feeling well that day, and you just need to stay home and you just need to take a day off. Your business is going to move forward because your database is going to work for you. Okay, before we move on, anybody have any ahas, any additional thoughts on that? Please unmute yourself and just speak up. Nothing? Okay. All right. I feel like I'm working. I have multiple screens going, so I can look at the participant guide. I can look at the facilitator guide. I have the screens going. Okay. So let me go back here. Okay, so now. Okay, so why use a database? So we're going to move on to this section here. So why use a database? What is the today trap? Does anybody know what that means? Based on what we've just been talking about, can anybody guess at what avoiding the today trap means?
Real estate is about building things for the future, really. So, you don't like sign a seller today and sell today. It's, it's piled on little by little so that things come at a gradient.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Brenda. Exactly. It means that you're not just like working in it for today, because these are relationships that you're going to form over time. And as Amanda had said, not everybody's going to be ready to buy or sell today, right? It might be something that they're just thinking about. You are going to be part of that discovery process with them. Somebody might call and say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking of putting my house on the market. I'm not really sure where we're going. I'm not really sure what it looks like. They have to start somewhere. And so you want to come in at that time and, you want to help them through that journey. So that way, when they are ready to pull that trigger, that you're the one that they're thinking of. If you're an agent who says, oh, you know what, people say all the time, like, oh, I don't want to waste your time because I'm not really sure what I'm doing. And you say, you know what, it is no waste of time because you have to start somewhere. And this is a discovery process. And I'm going to help you discover if now is the right time for you to buy or sell or invest. And when we get there, if now's not the right time, then we're just going to move it to when it is, because it's about you, right? But you want to be part of that relationship and not like, oh, well, yeah, let me know when you make that decision. I'd love to be your agent. Let me know. You want to be there from the beginning and just kind of forge and just really nurture that relationship with them. And what that is going to create is that predictable ROI, because then your business is going to run like this and it's not going to always run like this, right? Where you're always, you're working, you have things going, you have things in your pipeline. You're only working in today and you're not thinking about what's coming down the pipe tomorrow, right? So you have to take care of the things that are urgent and what's going on currently, but you also have to be nurturing that database. So that way it's bringing you future business. So you always have things in your pipeline. You always have things that are coming up for you in your business. Does that make sense? Okay. So there it is. Without a database, your business is built only for today. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give this little example here. So it says these 100 people are in your market. So imagine that these 100 people are in your market. Out of 100, 65 are looking to be homeowners and 35 are not. So the ones that are still colored in, right, those are the 65 that are looking to be homeowners. The ones that are whited out, they are not. Out of the 65, 58 of those people are off the market, and the remaining 7 are your today's business. So what this is illustrating is that if you are only looking at these 7, so these 100 people are in your database, right? So if you're only focused on the business of today, these 7 people are going to be your focus, and that's it. You're not going to focus on the other people. So you have to still focus on 100 people, right? Because that way that's going to bring the next 7 deals that are happening and the next 7 deals. If you're only focusing on these 7 and you're ignoring the rest of these people, then these 7 are going to close and be over with, and you are not going to have a pipeline. So that's why if you see it in this illustrated form, you need to focus on all of them all the time. For every $1 that you invest in your database activities, expect at least $14. And consider that it's possible to get much more with repeat and referral business.
Can I dot that I, Rhonda? As
Please
we
do.
like to say in our company, let me dot that I. As a newer agent, and not just newer agents, but it's very easy to be distracted by, well, if I just spend money on advertising, if I just spend money on this, then I will get more leads faster, quicker. I just want to challenge you to that and really track the dollars that you are spending. As I mentioned, these are your leads, the people in your phone. And if you don't know how to see how many contacts you have in your phone, maybe we can do that during a break or something, because you should be getting a 10% return on the number of people that are in your database. And those are people that don't cost you a penny. So that $14 for every dollar spent, that's huge. And when you look at some of the marketing programs that are thousands and thousands of dollars, is that going to have that return for you?
Perfect. And so this is exactly what Amanda was just saying, right? So why use a database? So the first consideration is that it's the lowest lead cost, right? You don't have to spend all that money on marketing and advertising. The cheapest customer acquisition strategy is to work with your existing customers and people who know and like you already. You know, we all have to lead generate and bring new people into our database every day. You should be lead generating every single day. Absolutely. Yet the people that already know you, the people that are already in your database, those are the people that they already trust you. They already like you, right? So it's so much easier to get them to work with you as you build the relationship with the new people that you're adding to your database every day, right? Because as you nurture that relationship, eventually they're going to become somebody who knows, likes, and trusts you as well. And so they're going to move into that group, right? But yet you're still constantly feeding it. So, and the people that are in there, you don't have to spend money to go find them. They're already there. You just have to nurture them. You just have to reach out to them and show them that you care about them. And reaching out to them, you know, it's like we're talking about, you know, constantly reaching out to your database, et cetera. You know, you don't have to be reaching out to them, you know, constantly and just saying like, hey, you know, today you're thinking of buying, selling, investing. Tomorrow, hey, how about now? Hey, how about now? Is today the day? You could just be reaching out and just, you know, doing what we call care calls, right? And just staying in touch with them and saying, hey, you know, congratulations. I know that your son just graduated from high school. I just wanted to reach out and say congratulations. What a wonderful time for you and your family. And that's it. And you can just leave it at that. They're going to remember who you are, you know, and you can just say, I was just thinking of you today. I was just thinking of you today. And you know what? I decided just to pick up the phone and send you a message, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a text, whether it's a Facebook message. You know what? You came across my mind and I decided I wasn't going to just let it go. I just wanted to reach out and say hello, thinking of you. I hope all is well with you and your family. It's as simple as that. That's a great touch point. Number two, lowest conversion cost. When properly built and maintained, a database will actually end up producing its own leads in the form of repeat clients and referrals, and will also have the lowest conversion costs. And these are things we're just saying over and over again. And the purpose for that too is that, I mean, I think how many times we have to hear it and we're going to remember it so that we're just kind of like drilling it in a little. And it pays for itself. It makes it easier to do consistent follow-up. And that's what it's all about. It's all about consistency. So how about if we just take, first of all, we're going to take a 5-minute break, but let's do any AHAs. Does anybody have any AHAs? I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see everybody again. Any AHAs that anybody would like to share? What do you guys think so far about this session?
Guys, it's going to be a long 3 hours.
Need a dance party in here, I think.
Well, I think with this particular topic, I think we hear that this is very important all the time. So for me, there's no aha, because I know that this is important. I'm showing up today to get educated on how I can do better. That's for me, that's the aha, I guess.
That's a great aha, right? Just being a little bit better today than you were yesterday and improving on that every
I
day.
absolutely love that too, because you wouldn't believe how many top producers need to be reminded of this sometimes. Like sometimes it just need to be kind of bunked on the head and be like, yeah, we need to lead generate like every day.
Exactly. And it's in any role. It's no matter whatever your position is and whatever you're doing in some form you need to lead generate every day. Can I share a quote with you guys that I heard this morning? And I wrote it down because I loved it. So it was on Peloton. So I'm just gonna, because I am a Peloton person. And I was doing a ride this morning and it was Matt Wilpers that said, long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. And I thought that was so awesome because a lot of times, you know, it's like we're all gun ho, right? Especially as new agents, like we're all gun ho and we're like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna lead generate for 2 hours today. And we're off like a shot and we get it done. And then we don't do it. And that's it. We don't do it again for the rest of the week. And then maybe, you know, one day, you know, 2 weeks from now, like, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to go in. I'm going to hit the phones today. I'm going to get on, right? And we do it. And then we don't do it again for another couple weeks. Whereas if we're every day, even you just spend 1 hour, right? Every day you're really purposeful and you're like, for the next hour, I'm just going to reach out to people that I haven't talked to in the last 3 months. And I'm just going to reach out to them. That's what I'm going to do for the next hour. And you do that every single day. All of a sudden at the end of the week now, you've put 5 hours of lead generation together that was purposeful and consistent. And you do it the next week and the next week. And it doesn't have to be, some people get so scared when they hear lead generation. All they can imagine is just making a bunch of cold calls. Like that's what our brain goes to when we think about lead generation. Does anybody else have that? Does that come to mind when somebody says you're going to start lead generating? Anybody? Yeah, right. I'm not the only one, right? So I'm going to share one little secret and then we're going to go on a break. I was actually having lunch with one of our agents in the office a couple of weeks ago. And Tracy is, I mean, she's been an agent, my goodness, for at least, I don't know, maybe 10 years or something. I mean, she's gone through Bold 7 times. I mean, she's a great agent in our market center, a really great mentor. Anyways, we were out and we were having lunch and she was telling me that she was getting a new coach because her coach was changing. And she was like, I hope my new coach isn't going to just make me do cold calls and like lead generate like all the time. And so I was talking to her and I said, you know, I said, it's really funny. I said, I was at a conference like years ago. And I said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I said, you know, the person running the session that I was in, I was like at a real estate conference. I said, they were like talking about, you know, if you broke your lead generation down to doing like, 5 phone calls and 5 of this and 5 of that and 5 of that. So while we were at lunch, we came up with this 5 to thrive. And I'm going to share it with you because I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I've been telling everybody about it since we had lunch. But 5 to thrive, right? So on a daily basis for your lead generation, what would it look like if you made 5 phone calls, right? 5 phone calls. If you sent 5 text messages or 5 video text messages, if you jumped on Facebook and you interacted with 5 people in your Facebook contacts, real interactions, not just liking things, but, making purposeful comments on something that's going on in their life. If you wrote 5 handwritten note cards and you sent 5 emails. So phone calls, emails, text messages, Facebook, note cards.
Can you repeat that? Phone calls?
Yep, phone calls, text messages or a video text, Facebook interactions, emails, and 5 handwritten note cards. And if you did that every single day, that is the opportunity to have 25 conversations a day, right? If you send a text message, hey, I'm just thinking of you, and they message back, there's your conversation, right? There, that can blossom. But so now it's like the lead generation of like, oh my God, I have to make all these phone calls. No, you just make 5. And if you know what, lead generation comes in many forms. If you don't like to make phone calls, find something else, find something that you're going to stick to. And that can be your form of lead generation, right? But you're just picking up the phone and calling 5 of your favorite people in your contacts and just saying, hey, I'm just thinking of you today. I just wanted to take a minute and reach out and say, how are you doing? Let me know if you need anything, right? So I'm going to leave that with you because I just love that. And I tell everybody about that. And take it, share it, use it, and be fruitful with it.
And one thing I would like to add, Rhonda, is I know some of you may hate name tags. I cannot tell you how much business I've got simply from wearing a name tag. I got someone at the gas station. I've got 2 from the grocery store. My husband is embarrassed. You would think I was wearing like the T-Rex costume or something when we got. He's like, really, Amanda, the name tag? 100%. I got a listing, a buyer, and an agent recruit by wearing my name tag to my kids' holiday chorus thing. Okay. So that's a really, what do they cost? $8?
It's like the best $17 you'll ever spend.
Yeah.
Like,
And when
literally.
you go to the gas station and you see a landscaper pull up, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm a local real estate agent, and people are constantly asking me for vendor referrals in the area. Do you have some cards I can grab?
I love that.
Yeah, good idea.
That's why my husband doesn't like going out with me anymore.
That's such
It
a fun
is so
story
strange how that works.
because my husband, the same thing. We went to Target and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I put my name tag on and he goes, "Take that off." And I said, "No." We were walking through the park out. We didn't even get into the store. And this girl stopped me and she was a mortgage broker. And she's like, "Oh, how are you? You're a real estate agent?" We exchanged cards. My husband goes, "I cannot even believe that just happened." He goes, "Wear it everywhere now." I don't know what happened with it, but he's like, "I can't even believe just that happened."
Sorry, Jen, you had some static there. Definitely try to unmute and try it again if you wanted to share.
I was like, "Is that me?"
That's awesome, Danielle. I love that. I love that. Especially for, for those of us that have maybe a second career, maybe, right, you're real estate and you're working up to being real estate full time. And so especially if you're like, if there's someplace, if you're, there's something else that you're doing, like, just like, that maybe it's not a name tag, but I always used to say, I used to work with somebody who was he was in the restaurant business, and he would get so many leads from people, like when he was doing caterings and he was at the restaurant. And I would say to him, "Can you just wear like a button or a t-shirt that says 'Ask me about real estate'? Because you're just going to get business, right? So yeah, get a pin that says, 'Hi, my name is Rhonda, and I'm also in real estate.'"
Super helpful for people who are kind of afraid to I have people all the time who are afraid to bring it up at their kids' stuff or things like that. I was like, so wear something, just make it apparent somewhere and you'll get the conversation started for sure.
Love it. Love it.
And implore your family members too. So my husband is a gym buff, not myself. He wears a t-shirt. Want to know about real estate? Talk to my wife.
I
Right?
love that.
The kids start drawing pictures. What is that? Oh, that's my mommy selling a house. It's amazing.
My husband wants to retire. Maybe I'll let him start wearing the t-shirts and say, "Hey, you're my walking advertisement. If you want to retire, take one for the team."
Nelly, I'll send you the print for the t-shirt.
I love that. Love it. All right, guys, let's take a 5-minute break. It's 9:50. So let's just come back just before 10. We'll get started on the next session. So we'll see you then. All right, we're gonna get started in just a minute. It looks so nice outside today, again.
I never get to experience the weather outside for good or for bad.
Sometimes it's good, right? Other
Yeah.
times it's not. I know.
When I
It's
tell
like-
people when they go to open houses with me, I'm like, oh, isn't today amazing? This is so beautiful. Like our job allows us to do this. And remember today when the weather really sucks outside, because these are the good days that we get to enjoy.
I know. Yes. Yeah, it's always fun when you have like 10 showings lined up and it's like a monsoon outside and you're just like, oh boy.
Or it's so cold, your hands can't even like push the lockbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun times.
Sounds like that's happened to you before, Amanda.
Just once. It makes us stronger as individuals. Hey, you know what? You have not arrived unless you've had to like climb into a window or break into a house to get it shown, right? Because you left.
Guys, I want to give you a tip. If you have a garage code and someone forgets to give you a garage code, always try 1, 2, 3, 4 and 0, 0, 0, 0. I did that. I've done that a few times. And people are like, how did you know? I'm like, because people never reset their garage codes.
Exactly. For good or for bad. For good or for bad. I remember locking one of my sellers out of the house because I'm just one of those people where I always want to make sure I leave a house very secure. And they purposely had always not locked the door going from the garage into their basement. That's how they would go in. And I was leaving the showing and I locked the door behind me and like got home and they're like calling me like, you have completely locked us out of our house because we don't have a key to that. You're like, we can't get in. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm coming. You work both ways. All right, it is 10 o'clock, so let's move on. So I'm going to reshare my screen again so we can move forward here. Okay, can you guys all see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay, awesome. So now we're going to move on to talking about, and if you can see down here at the bottom here, feeding your database. So there's 2 ways that you can feed your database, as you can see by the image here on the screen. So there is marketing, right? Where it says up here, there's marketing, and then there's prospecting. Those are the 2 ways that you're going to feed your database, meaning that you're going to be adding people into your database on a consistent basis. So what's the difference? So looking from here on the screen, you guys tell me, what's the difference between marketing and prospecting? What jumps out at you?
Maybe marketing is working with leads that you already have, and prospecting is more to do with searching for new leads or yeah, something like that.
Yep. Okay. So, yep. So marketing typically, as Amanda had said earlier, marketing is going to cost you some money, right? So marketing means that you're going to be shelling out some dough. There are plenty of companies and systems out there that would be more than happy to take your money and say that they're going to bring you in a consistent or stream of leads. And that's fine if that's how you want to bring money into your database and you have those funds. You want to always make sure you're getting a good return on investment for anything that you are doing. But there are some lead programs out there that do work and that are very friendly to the ROI. So yeah, in some cases you may be doing leads and paying for them. Prospecting, on the other hand, that's like with you being on the phone or doing the 5 to Thrive that we were just talking about. It might be a little bit more time intensive because you are actually taking the time to do it versus paying a lead program who you're just paying them money, but it doesn't take any time. It's kind of passive. Those leads are just going to flow into you. It could take a long time though in marketing for those leads to arrive, or sometimes you get a flurry of leads and they're really not that good, right? They're not high quality leads. So you're going to have to sift through them to find maybe the one gem in there. Versus prospecting, you're having those conversations, the results are going to be more immediate. And you're going to build that relationship like kind of from the get-go. It's going to be your first, that you're kind of planting that seed. Okay. So then next we're talking about segmenting it into groups, right? As we were talking about before, and using tags and putting them in groups as far as who they are, what their hobbies and interests are, or as Amanda said, maybe it's also on their timeline, right? Are they hot? Are they hot? Are they warm? Are they cold? Like you'll hear people talk about leads as being hot, warm, cold. Hot being that they're ready to go, warm meaning they're thinking about it maybe in the next 3 to 6 months, and cold, you know, they're kind of a lead, you're going to have to work them a little bit harder. But here there's some example tags, groups that are tags as we call them, of what you can signify them with. I just don't have good words today. I don't know why. My brain thinks it's Monday, I think.
One thing I would do want to suggest, if you are using your tags or grouping, first time home buyer is a tag that I love, because you have to think of, this is something you provide value beyond just being a real estate agent. So we would teach financial wealth planning classes for our clients as well, home maintenance classes. So these are things you specifically want to reach out to maybe first time home buyers who may not have the regular household knowledge. And again, you're providing them value beyond just purchasing or selling a house for them.
I'd like to double plus this for sure. You need to be able to pull data out of your database. Otherwise, just a list of names, right? And we need to be able to pull a group of people out any given time so we can market to them. So you really should tag around how you market to people, right? So like if you want to send something to a bunch of people that live that have kids, right? So like if there's a kid-friendly event coming, I want to send something to the people with kids. So kids is a wonderful tag. Or the town they live in is a wonderful tag. Or something, or past clients because you're doing a past client event, or maybe open houses because they came in open houses. You really want to make sure you segment your people with how you market to them, because that is how you're going to be able to pull that information quickly and be able to send them all something specific, right? We're not looking to do one-to-many marketing. We're looking to do one-to-one marketing. We really want that Netflix experience, so that we hit people where they are and what's going to sing to them, what's going to make them want to have the information we're giving to them.
And think of today is Rosh Hashanah, right? So if you have Jewish clients, being able to have that in your database and just to reach out to them, whether that is your religious preference or not, you are meeting people where they are and acknowledging who they are individually.
Can I ask a question with this? So I went in and I put obviously the contacts I have now, you add as you go along, and that's going to be a forever thing. So putting in the name, phone number, that basic information. And so after you have that in, that's when we're going to go in and add all these tags and that, because you don't know how you're going to be grouping them. Am I right about that?
So you can tag them. Do you want me to do maybe we'll just do a quick little demo and I can show you.
Yeah, I can do
that. That would be wonderful.
Maggie, I need to give you, or let me stop sharing mine.
If you can.
And you can definitely tag as you add them, right? There should be some thought ahead of time as to what you really want to do, right? And you can think about them ahead of time and create your tag ahead of time. It's okay.
Now.
Now it's my turn. They're mowing in the back of my house, so.
Can they come to my lawn?
Exactly.
I'll send them right over. They literally are weed whacking right outside the window. So let's go. Here we go. So let me show you actually the in command. So here we're on command. Underneath your name is the settings section. If we head into the settings section, on the left-hand side, you're going to see command settings. And we're going to open that buddy up right there, and you're going to see contacts. We're going to open that up, and we're going to see contact tags. And if we hit contact tags, it's going to list all the tags that there are in your database. Now, there already are some in there, and those are, you'll see them, they have created by the system. So they already have some basic tags that you would normally have in pretty much all the CRMs. But you can now add your own to it. So now you're allowed to add and create your own custom tags. So there is a button in the top right called Create Tag. And you can go ahead and hit that, and you can create something ahead of time. And this is like where I get people right here. There are colors, right? So there are different, and there's three different people in the world. There's people who don't care that there are colors. There are people who love that there are colors. And there are people who tell me there are not enough colors. So I don't know which one you fall on this spectrum, but so you can go ahead and you can create your tag. So once again, like one of the things I thought about was, well, what if I have a vendor tag, right? I'll be able to pull all my vendors out at once. So let's do a tag for vendor. And let's say my vendors will be red, and I can hit create. Oh, I already have a vendor tag. I have lots of tags in here. Only one person.
Christmas card. What about Christmas card?
Okay, that's great. Or I could do holiday card, either one, but let's see. Create. Okay, and if you can see, here it is, Christmas cards, right? So now I have Christmas cards, I created it. I can edit these at any time. I can only delete them if there's nobody with that particular tag on it, just so you know, okay? So this allows me to create tags ahead of time, right? Now, let's say I'm creating somebody, I'm getting a new contact, and I want to add a tag as I'm creating the contact. That is something you can do as well. So if I'm in my contact section, and I'm adding somebody, I think I already have you in here, Amanda, so it's not gonna let me, but but if I'm creating a tag, let's just say this.
Can't wait to see what tags are associated with my name.
Other than Rhonda. Okay, here we go. So if I type it in, you can see I don't have that tag in there, but I can hit create a custom tag and I can create the tag on the fly. Okay, if it was already in here, right? So if I wanted to create the TL tag, I already have that in here and I can just select it. And now that added the tag to it. Now I can add as many tags to a person as I need to, which you may need to, right? I may have the town she lives in. I may have that she has kids. I might have that that she likes a certain thing, or she does Christmas cards, right? I might have many things for her, just because I might need to pull her for many different things to qualify for her. So that is how you add a tag. Now I want to, can I add is it okay, but you have permission to add something, a little extra spice to this, if you don't mind?
Yes, we like
Okay. So tags are wonderful. And then there's something called custom fields, which help you dive a little deeper into tags, right? So remember I said, like, you can have kids, right? And you can have vendors, or they came in an open house, right? You can also use custom fields to dive deeper into that particular tag. So for an example, if I have vendor, I can go back into my settings and I can go back into that contact section and I can go to custom fields. And I can have things like, oh, well, I want to know the kids' names. So I'm going to add a custom field for kids' names. Or I want to know what type of vendor they have. So I can have vendor type, right? So what December holiday do they celebrate? So I know if they're doing a Hanukkah card or, the Christmas card, what kind of pet do they have? If I have a tag called pets, right? So like it allows me to really dig into that particular tag. And the really cool thing is you can search by these. So if I have a vendor, right, and I go into my contacts and I filter, because you can filter by your tags. I have these both actually are my vendors. Hold on 1 second. I got to give a better example than this, because they're my only filter off. Okay, apply. you can see too. Here, I'll take Aaron here. And I'm going to add a custom tag to him. Custom tags are all the way in the bottom at custom. And we're going to add vendor type. Let's just say he's a contractor. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Vendor. Boop. Right. So now if I go back and I filter by my tag, contractor. Oops, sorry, my tag is vendor, excuse me. So I have all my vendors. But now I only want to see contractors. And so only my contractors will pop up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. So that way you can really filter even further on your tags as well. So tags and custom fields are great ways to organize your database. Any questions or anybody need me to go over how to add a tag to somebody or something like that?
That's awesome.
Cool.
I love the custom fields. That's very cool.
It is awesome. Yeah, because one of the things that's a danger with tags is you can over tag, right? You can get lost in too many tags, right? A lot of people say like, well, I'm gonna have a tag for every single open house that I do. Well, for some agents, that can be a lot of open houses, which means you have a lot of tags to go through and you can get lost in all the tags that you have. So if you have a tag called open house, and then you use the custom field to organize that a little bit better, you won't get so lost within your tags, right? So there is such thing as too much organization. There's like not enough and there's too much. You want to find that happy medium. So custom fields that you find that sort of happy medium.
So great. I want to go organize my custom fields now in my database. Okay, great. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, great. All right, awesome. And if you need, if anybody needs additional tech help, with Command, definitely reach out to your Market Center tech trainer and ask for help. And if you're not sure who that is, your team leader can help point you in the right direction. And then also, between the region and KWRI, there's a lot of classes out there on Command, the 66-day challenge that really will all these little segments that can dive down deeper into these topics. So if you need tech help, please definitely reach out because there's somebody who can help you. So now we're going to go into this part here where we're going to talk about the difference between leads and contacts. So can anybody tell me what the difference between a lead and a contact is? Anyone? I mean, you could just read it off the screen.
I think that, and I don't know for sure, but I think that a lead is somebody that there's potential of them doing something like movement. And then a contact is somebody that, you're trying to make into a lead.
So it's actually, and you know what, Cynthia, I used to think the exact same thing. And it was always I would always get confused, what's a lead versus a contact? So a lead, it's the other way. A lead turns into a contact. So a lead is people you have had the right to at least have a one-way conversation with. And then a contact is connected by permission or because you know them. They are interactive and value-based. So think of it as we were talking about either prospecting or marketing to feed your database. What you're getting from that is you're getting leads from that, right? You're getting leads and you're feeding your database. You're going to turn them into contacts as you nurture that relationship, and your relationship with them becomes permission-based. And you're going to provide them then with value. So you are on the right track. You just had it opposite. And I used to always do that as well. And in Command, when you're entering people in, there is a little lead checkbox, so you can check them off as they are a lead. And then as your relationship grows with them, you can uncheck that on the fly, because then they actually become a contact. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. So in looking at this for a touch campaign, so it says it here on the screen, people who you have the right to at least have a one-way conversation with. So is an example, touch campaign would be 19 touches to connect with them. So this is just kind of giving you an example of what that could look like. So you could, because sometimes it takes a while. You might have people in your database who remain a lead for a very long time because they, sometimes people reach out and they kind of raise their hand like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking about real estate. And they're really not, like, they're really either not in the position to maybe buy yet, right? You may have a lead who, after your conversation with them, they may not be in a position to buy, right? So, so somebody could stay a lead for a very long time, or sometimes people reach out and then, you're trying to call them back and you can't, as Amanda said, sometimes it might take 20 times before, of you calling before you actually make contact with them. Most realtors will give up after the second or third time and say, they're not responsive, I'm just going to move on. Yet, if you just kind of stay in contact with them, sometimes it actually takes 20 times. And then finally, they're just like, damn, you're persistent. So maybe I'm going to answer the phone call this time, right? Or you might just finally catch them on the day that they're not super busy and they're really thinking about selling their house. And had you given up all that time before, you would not have made that connection. So like, as they say, you keep go for the no, right? As Amanda said, so you keep trying until somebody actually tells you to stop calling them. So in this touch campaign, 19 touches to connect, 4 touches by a quarterly phone call, 12 touches setting up a monthly email newsletter market report. In Command, we can do monthly neighborhood nurtures, which are awesome. You can set these folks up on that, and it just gives them a little snapshot of either the neighborhood they live in, if you know where that is, or if they were somebody that inquired about a property, that neighborhood where that property is, or that town where that property is. 2 touches, promotional direct mail, such as a magnet, a calendar, market report, etc. So 2 things in the mail, maybe 2 handwritten notes, right? Maybe you're sending out them 2 handwritten notes. And then either inviting them to an annual event, a party, a movie screening, or a get together. I had attended at one of our Keller Williams events, a thing on events. One of the sessions was on event planning, and I always loved the idea of doing like an ice cream social, where you could take a block of time and set up outdoors in a parking lot wherever you wanted to, and just have ice cream where families can come in. Doesn't mean I like ice cream, right? You might just go stop by, make a sundae, go kind of sit, right? Just kind of like a drive kind of through transient party. I always thought that was a really good one. And then over on the other side, where we have our contacts, and this is connected by permission or because you know them, they're interactive and value-based. So here we have a 36 touch campaign, 36 to convert. So 19 to connect, 36 to convert. They look very similar, yet there's 36 versus 19, so a little bit more. So 4 touches by telephone calls quarterly, 26. So you're emailing them something, bi-weekly. 2 touches by events, get-togethers, or parties, right? And a get-together could just be having coffee with them. It doesn't have to be that you have to plan 2 huge events, in the year. 2 events, it could just be 2 get-togethers. Hey, you know what? I would love to grab a cup of coffee with you. And then 4 touches, promotional, direct mail, etc. So what do you guys think about that? Or do you guys have any other ideas on how you can add to these, the 19 to connect or 36 to convert? Any other ideas of communication ways?
I just want to encourage you guys not to overthink it. So if you are driving through a neighborhood and you're like, oh yeah, I sold a house here, text that person. Hey, just drove through your neighborhood today. Hope you're doing well. Just don't overthink it.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody here, has anybody here done like, done door knocking? What do you guys think about door knocking? Anybody done it? Anybody want to try it?
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you. Yes.
I have not done door knocking, but what I did in my neighborhood this past weekend, I made out some flyers and I went to all around my neighborhood and I put it on the door. And some people came out and I'm like, oh, I think you probably have seen me walking around here with my grandchildren. They're like, oh yeah, we see you all the time. I'm like, well, my name's Isabel. I'm a real estate agent. I introduced myself. I gave them my flyer. And I actually have a neighbor that wants me to schedule an appointment with her so we can talk about listing her house.
Awesome. That's great. Congratulations. That's
So,
fabulous. Fabulous.
Thank
I
you.
actually want to do it too. I just haven't started yet. I'm a little nervous to do it.
Yeah, and it does seem a little scary depending on where you do it, but can I tell you guys a really good idea that was shared with me years ago, and I love this idea, is we were talking about door knocking. This was years and years ago, and I was talking with somebody who was in the company that I worked for, and she had the best idea. And she said, if you're going to go around and door knock, she said, pull into the driveway. And when you get out of your car, leave your car running and leave your door open when you get out of the car. So leave it running, leave your door open, and then go up and knock on the door. And this way, right, when you knock on somebody's door and they're like, who's here? And they go and they look out the door and they see that your car is running and that your door is open. They know you're just there to drop something off. Right. So they know that, you're not pulling in like, who is this that's coming over to my house? They know that, oh, somebody must just be here. It just must be a quick little thing to drop it off, because obviously they're not staying, and they're much more inclined to open the door and come to the door and you can just say, hey, you know what, I'm just coming through the neighborhood. And just like Isabel said, I'm a local real estate expert, and I was just coming through the neighborhood. I just wanted to give you some information on the activity that's been happening in your neighborhood. I don't know if you saw that the house down the street just came on the market, but anyways, I'm not going to stay. I didn't expect you to even answer the door. I just wanted to give you some information. Would love to, if you like any information, set up a time to have a conversation with you. And then that way it's just not scary.
And I do want to add something there, because I know we have several states being represented. Massachusetts, you do have to have a permit to door knock. So some towns offer permits by the month, some by the week, some by the day. So before you door knock, please check with your local authorities to see what the requirement is there. And also, I always encourage you to go alone, not to go alone. Even if you are a man, there is safety in numbers. And I guarantee you, if you don't know of anyone, there are college interns that are more than happy to make some quick bucks just by basically being there with you.
Love that. I mean, I had no idea about the permits. Wow.
So what's great too, once you do that and you do it again, consistency, you're going to hear consistency over and over in these calls. Once you start getting these permits, the people in the town offices, they see you coming and they're like, oh, must be door knocking day. And they just start writing out the permit.
Right. I don't door knock. I just put the flyer at the door. So.
And be careful too. I do want to add this, because we are kind of like Boy Scouts here. Do not leave stuff on people's mailboxes, because that is a federal offense. There you go. There you go.
But you can hang on the door, or a Boy Scout family too, and they can't do the mailbox, but you are allowed to do door hangers.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Just-
And I want to hear a door.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just want to ask something. So imagine if you go to your neighborhood, you just want to give a card. Do I have to bring like a flyer, like you say, about what's going on in the neighborhood, or just give my card? Because I don't know yet how to do that about your neighborhood, how to know what's going on in your neighborhood.
Yeah, so well, you can, you can create a flyer, you can create one through command and just have them printed. and you can put that in it. You can, have that flyer and your card. But yet, if you didn't have something and you were just, say you're just driving through the neighborhood one day and you just wanted to, that kind of came over you that, you wanted to stop, and you're not in Massachusetts because you wouldn't have your permit if you were being spontaneous. And all you have on you is business cards, then go for it. Absolutely. Go by and just say, hey, I just wanted to give you my business card. That's like Amanda said, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Right. So you can do something and you can kind of plan out what you want to do. Yet if you were just kind of like, oh, I'm in this situation right now, sure, give them your card. It's important that you just introduce yourself to them and give them a way to contact you.
And I want to share a really quick real life example. We were door knocking in a neighborhood and we noticed that the yard was flooded. A pipe had burst. The people were out of the country. We looked up their phone number, called neighbors, called everyone. We have got 3 leads from that person simply because we went above and beyond just door knocking, because they saw that we cared. So you become eyes in the neighborhood as well. And if you do it consistently, people will start remembering you and coming to you. Consistency is key.
Love that. That's awesome. Anything else before we move on? Okay. So now we're over on tend to your database over time. So there's 2 ways to tend to your database. Who right now has anybody dabbled in using testimonials and reviews? And I understand if some of you may be on the newer side, that maybe not yet, but something that you definitely should add into your workflow. But does anybody have any experience using testimonials and reviews and asking your clients for them when you close a property with them? No? Okay. So this is something that you definitely should add to your to the activities that you are doing. As you are working with buyers and sellers and going through the transaction process, many agents will even bring it up on the consultation, either on their listing consultation or on their buyer consultation, and say that this is what's going to happen over the course of us working together, and coming all the way down to the closing, and then saying, listen, if you found that, my work to be, a professional and whatnot, I'm going to ask you to leave me a review. Reviews are a great way for me to build my business, and it lets other consumers see who maybe don't know me that others have had a positive experience with me. So that way, if you kind of let them know ahead of time that at the end of this, you're going to ask them for a review, that way, when they get it, they're going to understand what it's for, and they're going to be more apt to fill it out. You could also just send it out at the end. And honestly, I mean, a lot of times that would be how that's how it would kind of come into my business plan. Yet some people will fill them out and some people won't. And I think if you're letting them know ahead of time it's coming, they're going to be more apt to fill it out, because they're going to truly understand that the importance of it when the time comes and they receive it.
Can I add something, Rhonda? And I already told Maggie, if I talk too much, you guys have full permission.
No. Oh my gosh. No.
What I would encourage you guys to do, whether it is with Keller Williams or if you're with another company, if you have a tech coordinator in your office, you have checklist as the transaction moves through the process of buying or selling a home. Add the task, the step to remind client about the review. So even when things go really sideways and you bring it to the bright side or work things through, be like, hey, remember that when you're writing that review for me. Like, I make everything a joke, or I try to keep it lighthearted, but hey, remember how bad that was? We got through it, and you better remember that when you write that review. And it's just that constant reminder. That way, when you get the final email, like, here are the links, I want you to post the review, it's very simple. You've trained them to write that review.
Absolutely.
I also want a quick add to this. Even if Rhonda, you mentioned that they're new, they may not have a testimonial. Everybody has a testimonial. They just have to, it doesn't have to be about how, when you first start, it doesn't have to be about how you hope buy or sell a home. It just has to be about your work ethic and your trustworthiness. And also too, I got a great tip from a top producer here. She always attaches her resume, because she says that people just want to know you've not been sitting on your butt this whole time. right?
I love that.
Yeah, so it's just little thing to add there.
That is awesome, Maggie. I think that is like a golden nugget right here for all of our new agents. I absolutely love that. That's awesome. Great. Yeah, and and having your, and also using, like LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn because you can get those reviews on LinkedIn for all of your past work history. So your LinkedIn profile is really, it's another really great tool to use, right? Okay. And regularly update and prune your database. So just as much as you're putting people into your database, there may be times that you have to remove or archive contacts out of your database. And don't be afraid to prune it and make sure that your database is, it is solid, and make sure that the data in it has integrity to it.
I add something there.
Yes.
We may have contacts in our database that are incomplete. I've been pruning my database because it's the fall season. And you know what? I came across people that I didn't have a last name. I came across people that I had a phone number, but not an email. And sometimes it's so easy to be tempted to delete those people. And again, I encourage you to just reach out. And do you know how I reached out? I'm like, listen, I am so embarrassed to admit this. You are in my phone and I have no idea where I know you from. Just put it out there. And it is amazing because I had 5 people that I didn't have their last names in there. I connected with them because I either met them at an open house, it was a military affiliation, what have you. So don't delete it until you attempt to reconcile the contact.
Love that, Amanda. That's great advice. Great. Any questions? Does anybody have any experiences that you want to share or questions? Anyone need help with something? You guys all so quiet today.
So I'll talk.
Okay, good.
So I'm newer real estate. So, but I have a ton of contacts in my phone. So, what I started to do is, as I was building my database, I was like, holy crap, I haven't talked to Maggie in forever. So I just sent her a text going, oh my God, how are you been? I haven't, seen you or heard from you in a while. Hope everything's okay. Hope the kids are good. And left it at that. And I've had a lot of people like respond back and they're like, oh, hey, what's new? And I'm like, oh, hey, I still working my old job. God help me. But, I said, I got my real estate license this year. So I said, that's cool. And I just kind of threw it out there. It wasn't a pitch. It wasn't meant to be a pitch. I just threw it out there so it like maybe stuck in their head somewhere and, for future reference, that sort of thing.
Love that.
And Brenda, that's so good because so many of us get trapped in that, oh, I don't want to sound like a salesperson. I don't want to sound salesy. You don't have to. And I love that you said you just threw it out there, right? Because then the follow-up is just reminding people, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, how do I remind people without being salesy? Just be like, oh, I've been busy today. I showed the most beautiful house, and that way you're reminding them that you're in real estate without shoving it down their throat.
Great. Okay, so any other ahas? I want 2 more ahas before we'll take like a 10-minute break and then come back. So I want 2 more ahas though. Because I feel like we've been talking a lot.
I see some of my people on this call, so I'll start calling out names if I need to. I've had my double caffeine coffee. I am ready.
All right, well, before you call my name out, I'll jump right in there, although I have not had enough coffee yet, so that's probably why I'm quiet. I don't know if this is an aha moment, but just going through some of those touches that they've had and some of the events you can do. I had just been talking to a friend who's a realtor in another state, and he said that, he just tags his contacts by, similar interests. Like these guys all play tennis, these guys all golf, these guys are runners, these guys all like whiskey. So he had a whiskey event one night at a local bar that is just a whiskey bar. And he just invited 5 of his contacts that liked whiskey. And he did that. And he got 2 possible leads out of it. And, just from 5 people, that's
awesome.
That's something. So that's kind of, I don't know, not necessarily an aha, but just reminder to myself I have to do that, make that, preference tag, and then schedule something, a cool event like that.
Martin, I love that you said that. And I think it's important as well to tag their occupation, right? So think when COVID shut down everything,
yeah,
reaching out to doctors, nurses, teachers, and just giving them some extra love. I mean, that's a great way. And 2, your clients will ask you, I tell people, my clients ask me from everything from an electrician to a dog walker, tag everyone with their occupation.
Yep.
That's great. That's great. And it goes back to those touch plans, right? Because in the touch plans, it had said that you were going to do so many events or get-togethers, and that, like, those little small get-togethers that Martin was talking about, like, that's awesome, right? They can say, hey, I'm going to go to a whiskey bar, I'm going to go to a wine bar, and I'm going to pull in these 10 people who have that tag in my database. That is like using your database. It's like 10 plussing, really, really captivating on what your database and letting it work for you. I love that. All right, who can follow that up? Because I still want one more aha before we take a break.
Not an aha, but I like that quote, long-term consistency beats short-term intensity.
I know, yeah, that's awesome. You can apply that to everything, to absolutely everything. Awesome, thank you, Danielle. All right, guys, so let's see. So let's take a 10-minute break. And then when we come back, we can do, so next on going through is some script practice. So are you guys okay with that if we do some script practice when we come back? And I know, I believe Maggie put the script book in the chat. Maggie, did you?
I did not, but I'll throw it in there.
Okay, you have that handy. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, so 10-minute break. When we come back, we're going to start talking about different scripts. So that way, if any of this seems a little bit like, woo, we're going to make it so easy for you so that you're going to leave today. You're going to feel super, super comfortable with having these conversations. All right, so we'll see you in 10.
Isabel, I don't know if you saw, but in the very beginning, I linked the Spanish Ignite script book from the old Ignite, but it is a Spanish script book, so that might help you out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So Maggie put the script book in the chat for us. Thanks, Maggie.
No problem.
So if we look through, let's see here. So if, for those of us that are back, we'll get started in a couple minutes. I know that we're all filtering back in, but if you open up the script book and you go on to, let's go on to page 6. And let's do the script that's at the top here where it says, somebody's talking about super staticky.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen just so that you guys can see it. Oop, make that bigger, a little bigger here. Okay. So we'll do the script new to Keller Williams, which is going to use, if you've heard of Ford, F-O-R-D, and that is something that's like a great system, I guess you would call it, to communicate with people. And you could use this like how you post on social media. You could use this in a script, in a conversation. Actually, I think that we're kind of moving away from the word script and going into conversations a little bit more, right? Because I mean, sometimes when you think of the word script, you kind of think of like this robotic kind of manner of speaking, yet it really is just a conversation. It's just about how, you know, talking with somebody. Sometimes if you're thinking this is a script, you're not even really listening to what the other person is saying because you know that what you're like, oh, I have to say this next line. Whereas in a conversation, you may have the gist of what the conversation is going to be. However, the conversation may pivot to the right or it may pivot to the left. And if you're having a conversation with somebody, then you're going to allow that pivot to happen and have a more meaningful conversation. But Ford, F-O-R-D, the F stands for family, the O stands for occupation, the R stands for recreation, for what somebody might like to do for fun, and then D stands for dream. So do you guys want to try this script? So maybe we'll do it here in the group. What time is it? So we still have an hour. We'll probably get done a little bit early. I don't think that we'll have to go all the way to 12 unless I'm forgetting. Am I forgetting something, Maggie or Amanda? That's that a whole section here that I'm not thinking about.
No, they script practice, and maybe if you have time, they can make a phone call.
Ooh, snap, Maggie. All right. So how about if we practice this here together, maybe Amanda and I can practice this so that way you guys can see us run through it. And then I can try to break us into groups and then you guys can kind of practice a little bit and then we can come back and maybe a couple of you will go through it for the group. How's that sound? Sound good? Yeah.
I can feel the anxiety already.
Not scary. It's not scary at all. So Amanda and I will do it first. So Amanda, do you want to be the agent or do you want to be the consumer?
Well, I appreciate your confidence in me that my eyesight is that good. So if you want me to be the agent, I will need it to be larger. I don't mind being the agent.
Okay, here we go. Can you see that? Is that better?
That is perfect.
Okay, go for it.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Rhonda, it's Amanda Howard with Keller Williams, Boston Northwest. How are you?
I'm great, Amanda. How are you?
I am doing good. Listen, I promise not to take too much time, but I realized that I have not talked to you in a while, and I just wanted to check in to see how you and your husband are doing.
That's so sweet of you, Amanda. We're doing fine. We're doing great. Can't believe, Labor Day was yesterday and we're kind of careening towards fall, but yeah, we're doing good. Status quo. How about you? How are you and your family?
Well, we all have running noses because everybody's back in school, but we are doing so good. Thank you for asking. Listen, how is work going? Are you still managing the office?
I am still managing the office, and it's going well. It's super busy, but yet, we like it like that. So yeah, things are going great. Work is good.
Awesome. And I noticed, I got to admire you, Rhonda, because I saw that you ran a race recently, and I hate running, but you make it look so enjoyable. What's the next race you have planned?
Oh, I actually have, I have a half marathon coming up in October. So I have been training for that.
You are a rock star. Holy cow. All right. And are you and your husband still planning to go to Paris this year?
Oh, with COVID, we've postponed that to next September, but yet we're going with 2 other couples. We're going to take 2 weeks. I think we've pivoted over to Italy instead of Paris, but we're super excited and starting to make some plans and figuring out what we're going to do there.
Well, that is incredible. Either way, I don't think you can go wrong, Italy or Paris. Well, listen, I just wanted to share some exciting news with you. I've moved my real estate business over to Keller Williams Realty. And just because my company name, is this the right one? Just because my company name has changed, the level of service I offer obviously hasn't. My clients will continue to get all my enthusiasm and hard work. And as you already know, I will do whatever it takes. Can I count on you to help me grow my business?
That's awesome, Amanda. Congratulations on the move. That is super exciting. I'm very happy for you. And yes, of course. I mean, we love you. There is, we refer you all the time. Anybody we hear that's thinking of doing something in real estate, we tell them all the time, you have to talk to Amanda.
Oh,
So
I love that. Of course. I love that you're my raving fan. That makes my job a lot easier. Well, listen, I know when we worked together, I shared an app with you, but I actually want to share with you my updated free real estate app. It's really easy to check on. And I know if you're anything like me, when you travel, you are checking real estate around all over the place. But you can check in your neighborhood, any place in US and Canada, and I can send you a text with the link. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would love it. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And I'd also like to offer a real estate update on your neighborhood. You can add additional neighborhoods that you're interested in. You can even customize how often you receive the update. All I need is just to verify. I'm not going to verify your current address because I know where you live. And just want to verify that you are still using the address of iamthebomb@gmail.com. Is that correct?
I am. How could I ever give that email address up, Amanda? Seriously.
All right. Well, listen, I'm building my business on people I know and the people that they know. Do you know of anyone from work or maybe your neighborhood or running group that are thinking of buying or selling a home?
Let me think about that right now, Amanda. Like I said, anybody I hear about, I always give them your information. Yet, I'm absolutely sure that there is somebody that I'm just not thinking of in the moment. Can I just text you? Can I think about it and text you?
100%. And actually, Rhonda, if it's easier, I would encourage you maybe to group text us. That way we can just remove you and I can contact directly with the referral. I would really appreciate that.
Oh, I love that idea. Absolutely. I will definitely do that, Amanda.
All right. Well, Rhonda, thank you so much for taking my call. It's always great catching up with you. And I hope you guys make it to Italy this year.
Thanks, Amanda. Talk to you soon. Perfect. That wasn't scary, right?
One thing I will say to people, because I know we do kind of hate the word script, right? You're like, oh, I don't want to sound so scripted. It took me as a newer agent practicing scripts, and I'm thinking, this doesn't sound like me. I don't talk like this. The point of practicing a script is that so you can internalize it and make it your own, so you don't sound like a salesperson. And I promise you 100% guarantee that if you practice your scripts, you will come across someone and they are going to say something that is exactly in the script. And you are going to have that moment where you're like, oh crap, this is why we do scripts, because people really say this stuff. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So I know I'm going to break you guys into rooms here. If I can figure out how to do that. Let's see. I'm not going to squint as I'm looking at my thing. Here we go. Breakout rooms. Okay. So bear with me for a moment. I'm going to pop you guys into rooms. We still have 42 people on. We have lost a few people, and it's probably because we said the word script, but I do want to say, for all of you that have chosen to stay on here, good for you. because it is not scary. And just like Amanda said, practice makes perfect. And so many of our agents that are experienced and are, as we call them, mega agents in our office, what the things that they do every day is they script practice every single day. And a lot of them have been in the business 20, 30 years, and they still script practice every single day, because that's what just makes it fluid and makes it, you be able to deal with objections a little bit better. So I actually think that you guys are all awesome for staying on and saying, yeah, we're going to do this. So I'm going to break us into rooms.
And while you're doing that, Rhonda, I just want to say, when you're practicing, don't practice just until you get it right. Practice until you don't get it wrong, until you can't get it wrong. So no matter what objection you're given, you've got something to back it up with.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. You guys can click on your invitation. Maggie, I don't think it's assigning you or I to a room.
No, which is fine. We're just gonna make sure there's 2 people in each. Room 7 is lonely, so hold on a minute.
Okay.
There we go.
Awesome.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
There's at least 2 people in each room.
Okay, good. And then here,
4.
yeah, I think it was putting 3 to 4 in a room. And then these guys here must have like stepped out.
Yep. Everything else is good. Okay.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
I know. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How's everything?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's freaking busy.
Yes, I know. It is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. It is.
Working hard. I'm working hard. I'm just,
I know.
I got a team from Compass I'm bringing in, so I'm very excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah,
Great.
that's like my big thing. They're coming in October, so I gotta like work hard.
How big of a team are they?
They're
Kaylee, did you get bumped out of your room? Oh, you're on mute, sweet.
Raj wasn't there.
Oh, all right. Let's put you into room. Let's put you into room 8. Let's see. Where are you? I'm gonna find you.
well, she's now in
I'm also trying to download that script book anyways. I didn't have it, so I found it in the chat, but yeah, Raj wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. I see you. Okay, so let's move you to room 8. Oop, where'd you go? I'm gonna try you in room 8. Okay. Do you have an invitation to go?
I think maybe
Maybe she went.
frozen.
Yep, there she goes. Okay, good.
So a 5-person team.
Ah, that's awesome. That's so exciting.
I'm excited. Yeah. So now we're working on all the transition stuff and all that good stuff. So we're excited.
So are you doing MCTT stuff still?
Yeah, doing that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And team leader, and you're doing team leader too?
But yeah, in the meantime, if slowly doing that stuff at the same time. So because we don't have one. So we're doing yeah, which is fine.
Okay. Are they looking for somebody?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah.
great.
Hey, someone's gonna I'll fill the spot. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, of course.
I'll add people.
Oh, exactly. And then, I mean, it's more important to find the right person when the time comes to fill the role. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I have two. I'm doing the MCTT for 2 offices.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow, wow.
but it's so yes, it's busy. We're busy.
I
But you
know.
guys are busy too, right? Because you just like absorbed on the market center, right? Yeah.
It's
So
merged in. Yeah. So we're now 350 agents altogether.
350 agents. That is amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. So you're one of the big ones now.
No, we went from like 150, we like grew, we doubled overnight. We literally went from 150 to 350 like overnight. So, but it's good. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's a lot of good things happening. So it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Like you know, you feel yourself growing in this position. I feel like every day you just, you know, you can just feel yourself.
I know that's good too, because the day you stop, it's like, oh man, right? If you can keep growing, that's good.
Hey, Nellie, we are in breakout rooms doing some scripts. You should have an invitation to go into a room. Okay.
There she goes. And she's off.
It's funny. Oh, Brenda's back. Oh, Krishnan just came in. Hey, Christian, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Do you guys want, we're just doing some script practice in some of the rooms. Can we pop you guys into a room?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, great. Let's see. I'm going to put you in room 6. Okay. And
Sorry,
Brenda-
my internet was a little glitchy, but yeah.
Oh, you got bumped.
Yeah.
Brenda, let's put you into room 7.
Yeah, 7's
Okay.
a little light, and so is 10.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. There you go. Oop. Christian, was nobody in that room? Oh, he went
No,
back.
he's gone. Yeah.
Okay, he's gone. And there she goes. Okay, good.
This is always exciting, this part.
Well, like now I see why you have to kind of stay here, right? Because you got people kind of coming in and out and all of that. Oh, tea drinker. I got my tea.
Yep, I'm a big tea person. Yeah. I've never liked coffee. Never
Oh, I
been a
do.
fan.
I do both, but I do love I like my tea after my morning coffee. I like, oh my God, I'll drink coffee at like 10 o'clock at night. I'll drink like a cappuccino.
It doesn't really work on you anymore then.
Yeah, what's the problem is I love it. So like I love like a cappuccino at night, and then it's like at 3 p.m. I'm like, oh God, I probably should not have had that cappuccino. Yep.
Man.
How's your daughter? Do you have one daughter?
I have one daughter. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah,
she's your
she started-
only one.
My only one. Only need one. We're good.
Yeah, I only have one too. Yeah. How old is she?
She is 4 years old. She just started actually pre-K last week. So.
Oh, how's it going? How's it going?
Good. I mean, she had 2 days yesterday, 2 full days yesterday, and she has today off. So
Awesome.
I'm like, dude, you go to school?
I know. I know.
But yeah, so
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
good. I know we only have one too. He's 31 now.
Got a little while on Izzy. Got a little while.
Yeah, they'll probably start thinking about having a family in the next year, probably. Him and his wife. So
Oh, we're gonna move him to 10.
okay.
Raj needed he requested help, but that's because he was by himself because he finally showed up. Yeah.
He woke up finally. He came back and was like, where is everybody? That's awesome.
No, I'm very lucky I have a good daycare person because she's still taking Izzy on the days that there's no school.
Oh,
otherwise
that's
for
awesome.
Izzy, yeah, because there's so many days off in public school.
Yeah, well, it's like Rosh Hashanah now. Yeah, I know my friend's daughter. Oh, no. It was our family that was here this weekend. She had started on Thursday. She went Thursday and then she was not Friday. And then she doesn't go again until this Thursday. So it was like she went to school for a day and then like she doesn't have school again until this Thursday, which is just.
Yeah. Yeah, we were looking like Izzy doesn't have like a full day of like a full week of school until like November. I'm like, what is this?
No, it's so crazy. It's just crazy. And then you just don't know, like even with all the COVID stuff, like, that schools are going to start. I'm going to give them a broadcast message that we're going to end in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you just wonder what, I know, like actually friends of ours were with us yesterday and their daughter was at a wedding and she called her dad while we were on the beach yesterday and said that the wedding that they had gone to, the bride and the groom came up positive, along with like the bridesmaid or something. And then his daughter was already not feeling well. Like she was starting to not feel well yesterday. So I'm like, oh my God, these weddings, it's like, I still think that, I mean, I think they're fine to happen. I think though that people really should get tested though before they go.
Yep. We had a COVID scare actually. Was it last week? Yeah, last week, because my mother-in-law tested positive for COVID on Monday. So like cue all of us leaving because we had just been with her on Thursday. So like we just all of us left everything, like pulled her out of everything, and then we all had to run get tests. Thankfully we're all negative. So it was just,
oh wow, it is so scary. It's so scary. Hopefully I mean, I think they're saying that the boosters are going to start being available like after the 20th of this month, which is good. And then you can get it if you had it, I think 6 months. If you're like 6 months past your second dose, you
something like that. Yeah. Whenever we can mix and match. Like if I get another one, will it be better for me if I get like the Pfizer if I have a
Exactly.
Just give me them all. Just don't shoot.
I know exactly. One of everything, please. To make sure.
Yeah, and the kids, they said the kids will be able to, my pediatrician for Izzy said by December, she might be able to have one. So
wow. Okay. That's good. I mean, that's good. Yeah, there's a lot of hey, she's in the conference room. Yeah, there's still, I mean, somebody was just asking me, another of my friends, they're like, oh, are you, if you're showing houses, are you asking people if they're vaccinated? And I'm like, I would never, that is such a volatile question. I would never ask anybody anything. Like if I'm worried, I'll just put a mask on, but I'm not.
Yeah. God, there's things like not to act like, geez, you've no idea. Like you could be treading on like really bad waters by doing that. Oh no, fair housing laws or something.
I know. It's like, just like, oh, nope, and nope. I mean, open houses, like if you're holding an open house, I suggest putting a sign up that says, if you're not vaccinated, please put a mask on, or just require everybody. The homeowners would like everybody to wear.
Just everybody carte blanche, wear a mask. That's
exactly.
it.
You're not pointing anybody out. You're not saying anything. Exactly. Everybody wears a mask coming in.
All or nothing. That's the way this business goes. All or nothing. Thank you very much.
Exactly. I know. I'm actually going on going to that the Amplify Lady Leaders Conference in San Antonio in 2 weeks. It's like my first time. It's my first trip since COVID happened. So I do have to get a COVID test like 3 days before I go. But it's like I'm nervous, but kind of excited to finally I have not done anything since COVID happened. So I'm just like, I just want to be away.
My whole family is going to Disney in 2 weeks. So
wow.
I felt like going to the belly of the beast, going to Florida.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
It was supposed to be last year. We had to move it because, last year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, just wear your masks, bring your sanitizer, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's all good.
And my office promised to let me back in if I had a negative test. So.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's the thing. It's like you got to think about it. And I was going to go see one of my really good friends just moved to Dallas. And so I texted her yesterday and said, if you're around, I'll come see you after. She's actually going to Florida though, the day that I would go there. So, which is probably better because I feel like I'm probably maybe playing with a little bit of fire than going to Dallas after that. And so I'm like, I'll just plan another trip out to see you some other time after I have my booster.
Yeah.
I know. All right. I'm going to close the room. So start getting everybody back in here. I'll get 60 seconds.
60 seconds. Finish it up. I'm sure they're all chatting about something other than. school.
Yeah. And then we can maybe have a couple people do it and then we can maybe take, 15 minutes to do some phone calls and then come back and do AHAs and wrap it up.
Yep, sounds good.
But I completely forgot and I was on the beach yesterday and I got my reminder email. I was like, oh.
I didn't realize it was coming up so soon either. Because when I got the email, it's like, oh, really? That's tomorrow? It's like, shoot.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Thanks.
How was it?
It was fun.
Good.
Good.
Let's let everybody get back in.
All right. I think that's it.
Okay. Everybody's back, getting there.
Thank you for my group, by the way. They were awesome.
Oh, good.
My group was better.
Yeah, I love mine too.
Charles, would you tell us if they weren't awesome?
Actually, I would. I'm not shy.
You're like, yes, I would.
Love that. Love that. I know breakout rooms are so much fun just because, it's like you always kind of come out of there like with this was so good. Great. All right. So I would love for us to run through it 2 times. So I'd like 4 volunteers. So who wants to be first? Somebody who wants to volunteer and be an agent for us?
I'll volunteer.
All right, Charles. And who wants to be the consumer for Charles?
I'll be the
That's
consumer.
easy. Okay, Rich. Woohoo. Okay, Charles and Rich.
Rich, woohoo.
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 So I'm supposed to call. Okay. I'm calling and you're the consumer, right, Mark? All right.
Correct.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Rick. This is Charles. I just wanted to, I'm calling. If you remember, we hung out a while ago. I'm sorry for the random call, but I just was going through my phone and I saw your name. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing fabulous. It's a beautiful day out. I'm on this call and everybody's so fun, but I just was, going through my phone while I'm sitting here and I just say, oh, I haven't talked to you in a long time. So how's things going? Like what's going on in your life?
Well, my kids just went back to school. So, they're really enjoying that. And I'm really enjoying the empty house. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you must be doing the happy dance. What are you doing with all the free time now?
Oh, well, I'm laying by the pool. I'm playing golf. I'm doing everything I possibly can.
Wow, you're laying by the pool. So you must really love your home, huh? How's the home going?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, you like the neighborhood?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been here 27 years anyway, so.
Oh, wow, that sounds like an awesome neighborhood. Do you have any like friends or family on the street that might be looking to sell or buy looking to sell their home? Because I have some buyers. I don't know if you know, but I recently became a real estate agent and that's something in your area, I have buyers that are really looking for a really nice neighborhood. Do you know anybody in your neighborhood that's looking to sell?
I mean, there is a ton of houses in my neighborhood right now that are for sale, but I know my niece and nephew are planning to get married and they're looking to buy a house.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I would love to help them. Would you mind sharing my information with them?
No, I can do that. I could text that information to you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and I'll actually text you my information, my card, so that you can share it with them. Is this a good number to text it to you?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll be sure to share all your information to them.
That's perfect. So what's going on this weekend? You got any plans? You want to grab a beer?
Oh my God, a beer would be great right now.
I know, it's so much.
I need to get out.
I know, me too. Well, let's meet up on Friday. Do you have plans Friday?
No, Friday'd be great.
All right, perfect. And then I could, just make sure I follow up with you on, and make sure we have each other's information and stuff, and we stay closer in touch. I look
Great,
forward to
look
the
forward
beer,
to it.
man. I'll text you on Thursday, just to make sure and confirm, and I look forward to that beer.
All right.
All right, man. Have a great day.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Great job, you guys. I love that. How did that feel? How'd that feel, Charles?
It was a little nerve-wracking, like and I'm outgoing, so but I was sweating, my palms were sweating. But
I thought you did a
felt
really
like
good job.
I felt like I recovered okay.
Yeah, and go
Well,
ahead.
and
Who-
Charles, I think you're not the only one to feel that way. So if you feel yourself going off the tracks, just get right back on, right? Because I know even in our group, we heard, oh crap, I'm not following the script. That's fine. Just get back on it. And that's why you do it over and over, because those scripts are written in a way that the conversation continues to move. You guys did great.
Yeah, you did awesome.
And I would add a tag, pool and golf and maybe beer. Right?
There you go.
I wish all my calls ended up with someone giving me a beer.
Whiskey, co-op, and beer. You guys are a great group.
I'm Irish.
Destined to succeed.
That's awesome. Great job, you guys. Okay, so let's do one more. Who wants to be the agent? Come on. It's super easy. It doesn't matter. We're all among friends here. So, you know, this is like just kind of like you testing out just testing it out.
Try to be the
Going
agent.
to it. You gonna be the agent?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'll do it with her.
And Danielle's gonna be your consumer. Okay, you guys. All right, Lucius, go for it.
Oh.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, this is Lourdes from Kelly Williams Coastal. How have you been?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, great. How's the family?
Oh, we're doing great.
That's
How are
great.
you?
Mine is great too. Thank you. Are you still working your job?
Actually, I'm taking a little break right now.
How's come? Why?
We went away for the summer.
Oh,
My husband's like, oh, take a little break. So
that's good. Sometimes a break is good too, right?
yeah, we went away. We had a good summer.
Well, I'm just calling to let you know that I just joined real estate now, and I'm trying to build my business by helping people. And I have a goal this year to help 10 families to find their dream house. And I just wondered if you could help me with that goal by doing referrals. And I also have an app that I can send it to you for you to reach to my app and just find out more about it. Is something that you could help me with that?
Absolutely. I'd love to do that for you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate that. That this way it'll be easy for me to grow up my business. So I'll get back to you again, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is actually, and I know Maggie put it in the chat as well. That's also one of my favorite scripts or conversations to have, is to tell somebody what your goal is for the year and how many families you want to help. And then asking if they know anybody that's buying, selling, or investing that can help you reach your goal and that you can help them with their goals. So that was a great choice. Lucius,
Thank you.
great
It's my
job.
first time doing and saying that. I never said it to anyone yet.
That's awesome. How did it feel? How did it feel to do that?
Feels great. Still nervous inside, so I just need to put this on the paper, and I'm gonna try to practice. But I feel really it's good. I wish I could do this every day.
That's awesome. And
You
you know,
can.
and one good way, Yeah, and one good way to practice is to videotape yourself. Like just use your phone, put your video on, say the script so then you can watch it back so you also kind of know what your body language is and you can hear how fluid you were and just practice that way too. And then, you know, if you do that if you do that just 3 times before you actually pick up the phone and call somebody, by that time you're going to feel just so much more comfortable with it.
Rhonda, do you think I can use this same way for the person that I'm calling for the first time, like prospect circle? You think I can do this script as well, the same?
Yeah, absolutely. You could say, you know, hi, you know, I just either if you, you know, I'm new to real estate or I am building my real estate business. I realize that we may have never spoken in the past yet. I really just wanted to reach out to you because I'm just looking to help 10 families this year buy, sell, or invest in real estate, or I'm helping 10 families this year to realize their real estate dreams. And I just wanted to reach out to you because I'm asking everybody if they could just help me towards that goal. And do you know anybody that's buying, selling, or investing in real estate? So you absolutely can tailor it to whomever you're talking to and whatever your relationship or not that you have with that person at that time, because you're just asking them for help. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, oh no, you know, I'm sorry, I don't know anybody right now, and that's okay, right? Or they're going to say, oh, you know what, if there's somebody you don't know, oh, you know what, my sister's a realtor and I refer all my business to her. That's okay, right? So like hearing those types of responses, a lot of times we hear a response like that and then we just want to give up altogether and we think that cold calling is just absolutely a disaster and we're never doing it again. But those types of responses are okay because you're going to make so many phone calls and you're going to work through those no's until you get to the yes. Not everybody is going to say yes, and that is okay. You're still putting yourself out there. You're not going to get a yes unless you ask, right? So you just still need to go through and ask everybody to get to the yes. Does anybody have anything to add to that? Maggie or Amanda, do you guys have anything to add to that?
I want to add 2 things. Cold calling is not my favorite. I'm not going to lie. But one thing that my coach encouraged me to do was, Amanda, when you pick up that phone, if there was $20,000 on the end of that other line, would you make the call? Yes. Duh. We'll file that under the duh category. Of course I would. And so I literally, as a new agent, I had a sign that I would look at on my computer. Is this call worth $30,000? Is this call worth $20,000? That way I just got my mind, because yes, even the no, because the no is going to get me to the eventual yes. And guys, it is so awesome once you routinely make these phone calls. People will say no, 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 no. And then it has happened every single time that, especially when we do bold, I think you guys have heard about the class bold. Someone will tell me no. And by the end of the day, they will call me back. You know what? I do know someone. And they just needed the reminder that I was calling and that I'm in real estate. So get out of your own way is my aha. I think you guys have heard me say that already today.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid of the yes either. I actually have had people who don't call because they were afraid of getting a yes and they didn't know what to do. Don't worry about that. Literally just get the appointment. You have plenty of people to ask in your office to help you with the next step. Just get it. Don't worry about the yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, great job, guys. So we still have half an hour left. Would you guys, how about if we spend 15 minutes just making some phone calls, right? And then we just come on and we just wrap up. So how about if we take from 11:30 to 11:45, you guys can put yourselves on mute, make a couple of phone calls, people you know, whatever you want to do, or maybe even just do the 5 to Thrive, right? And just make a couple phone calls, maybe do a couple Facebook interactions, etc. But, get out there and do a little bit of lead generation. And then I'd love for us to come back together at 11:45 and just any ahas and just kind of wrap up the day. Does that sound okay to everybody?
Sure, why not?
And every time you get a connection, put the little reaction, the little cheer reaction up in the corner.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
perfect.
a connection. That's all we need.
Awesome. Love it. All right, let's do it. Just another couple minutes, guys. All right, how did it go for anybody? Anybody have any ahas? How did you guys do? I did see some comments in the chat, which is awesome. Amanda, awesome.
First of all, did anybody die from making phone calls? Everybody still here? Y'all good?
Body count.
I'll be honest with you. We talked about this in the chat. Like my career is I'm an ER nurse. So like if I call people, like literally if I call people, they're like, holy shit, who's in the ER? So I tend to text people first. So I reached out to like 10 people on my contact list and, started up conversations with 5 of them. So, just kind of going back and forth and just throwing out there that, oh, how are things going, and throwing out the real estate thing, just throwing the hook out there. So it's a start. It's a start.
Love that. Love that.
Brenda, I would use that to your advantage, my friend.
I was just thinking that, like, wow, how lucky are you that people think, and will answer the phone every time.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be that thrilled if they picked it up. Like 90% of the time I have to call and go, this is not an emergency call. I'm just calling because, your dog's loose in my yard. We're okay. He's okay.
That's funny. That's great though. But I love that, like we had said, right? It doesn't have to be a phone call. Like, I love that you used another way to communicate. And so you just had 5 conversations with people. So that's amazing. A text can be just as effective as a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did call 2 people and got voicemail. So I instead reached out and sent text messages. Well, 2 texts and 1 message through Facebook to a few other people that I actually haven't talked to in a while, just to kind of bring them back in the circle and, one of those, care call type messages.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Martin, I'm glad you said that. And I would encourage you guys, when you speak to someone, ask them, what is your preferred method of contact? Because there are people who they think that they will die if they actually answer a phone. I'm not even going to say it's a generational thing, because that is not the truth, but just get in the habit. Hey, what is the best way for me to reach out to you? Right. But don't be those people that send the text that you're scrolling your phone, because that is a conversation. So if they prefer text them, hey, I need to talk to you. When is a good time to reach out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like that. That's good. I just sent out 5 text people that I haven't talked to in a while. Hey, how are you doing? And I haven't talked to you in a while. And so I've gotten to real estate and just wanted to let you know if there's anybody that you know of, or just to keep me in mind. But that's a good thing about, what is your preferred method of contact? Because I haven't talked to these people in a while. So I drop the line and, I'll get back to them probably sometime, maybe beginning the week. How long do you, that was one thing I wanted to ask, how long do you wait after you drop that? Because I didn't get to talk to any of them. I don't know when they're going to answer me, or if you don't hear from them, how long do you typically wait?
I would just give it even just, a day or two. You don't have to wait very long. And sometimes even alluding in the text and saying, hey, you were just, just in my mind, I really want to reach out. I just got into real estate. Would love to chat with you about that. I'll plan to call you over the next day or so. Like I'll usually use that. I'll plan to call you over the next day or so if we don't talk before then. And then that way you're preempting that you are going to call them, and that will also kind of jog them to answer the phone when you do.
And that's the thing too, Rhonda. I like that script, because have you ever thought, like, got through your day and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to call Nellie. I was supposed to call Nellie, right? And then you feel bad about it. So when I leave a message, I will say, I would love for you to call me back. If I don't hear from you, no worries. I will reach back out to you later this week. That way that takes the onus off of them. That way they don't feel bad if they don't call me back. But if I do call them back, then they're like, oh yeah, she said she was going to call, and they're more likely to answer.
Yeah, love that.
But as far as that, Danielle, there's no magic bullet, right? There's no secret sauce in that. I would encourage you not to let too much time pass, because then they're going to forget that they even got a text from you. And if when you call back, you get their voicemail, just leave the voicemail like, hey, I sent you a text earlier. I just want to make sure I had the right number, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's okay to cross-reference your communications with them too, saying, I also left you a voicemail, or I also sent you, if you're sending an email, I also sent you a text message, whatever's the easiest way to communicate. Some people don't check their emails all day, but yet, they're on their phone all day. So, again, it goes back to what their preferred method is.
A lot of people I haven't talked to in a very long time. Like, I don't even have their phone numbers. They're like, friends I've seen on Facebook. That's all the contact I have with them. I don't have their phone number, nothing. So I'm like just contacting them through Messenger, and I'm like,
And Danielle, what I would say to that is just, the elephant in the room, if you will. Like the script we used during COVID is like, listen, I am so sorry I haven't kept in contact with you. And I'm embarrassed to admit it took a worldwide pandemic for me to reach out to you. Right. I think the more genuine you can be, of course, sound like yourself, and just say, you know what, it's up to me. And I know my parents live with me, and my mom's always like, well, I'm the one who always reaches out. Well, great. You're that person. So just be that person, be the one who always reaches out.
I took advantage of a bad situation. I saw one of my neighbors last week, and he mentioned that him and his wife's getting divorced. So with divorce comes splitting up the assets. So I gave him a call and asked him how he's doing and so on and so forth. So led to him telling me that he's going to sell the house, but he was thinking about doing it himself. So I put my foot in the door by saying, hey, come over for a drink. Let's have a drink one night. We'll talk. So I put my foot in the door, basically wanting to tell him all of the options that I can provide versus what he can have, because I want to keep the property values in my neighborhood up because it's good for me. So he knows he's going to get top dollar if he goes with someone with experience versus not experience, and with someone that wants to do the best option for him. So I feel like I preyed on him.
No, you didn't, Nellie. You shouldn't feel that way, because, it's an unfortunate happenstance of when people do get divorced, is that they do a lot of times have to sell their home. And so, it's all in your delivery, right? And if you're calling in that care call and saying, hey, listen, I'm just, calling them, hope that you're doing okay. And you're starting it out that way. And then, the conversation, it will naturally take its course. And there's nothing wrong that if he says, yeah, we're going to be selling the house, to say, listen, I would love the opportunity to help you with that. And I understand you might be thinking of doing it on your own, yet, you really should get the advice of a professional realtor that can help value your home and talk to you about the options that are in front of you. So yeah, would love to get together with you, whatever that looks like, So yeah, you did not prey on him. You know, that anybody in that situation, or if there's a death in the family or something, those assets are going to come up and something's going to, there may be, you know, a time where they're going to be selling property, and there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, listen, if you need something, I'm here to help you through that process in a very genuine and caring way.
Yeah, he also did mention that he wants to rent because he wants to keep his kids in the school area. He did mention that he wants to rent a place for the time being with the option to buy later on, just because when people go through divorces, you don't want to be buying a house, going through all of that. But so, yeah, so there's the option of selling and then there's the option of buying. So just having that uncomfortable conversation ends up going that direction.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Good job. Anybody else? So what'd you guys think of today? What'd you guys think of this session today? Any final ahas, any final thoughts? You liked it? You think something could be better? Give us some, tell us what you think.
I like that we did the time of making calls because it was kind of fun, because I looked up at Rhonda and you were like talking and you were smiling on the phone. And all I could think of is when you talk, and this is for all of us, when you talk and you talk excitedly or you smile when you're on the phone, even though people can't see you, it portrays in your voice. And I think that makes a great impression too.
Brenda, when my husband worked with me, I hung a sign up above his computer with the poop emoji. And I said, smile, no poop face. Because when he would talk, he would be like this. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, people can feel that energy.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, and that was actually a client that had asked me about mortgage rate. He had called me about mortgage questions that I had called back, and had a great question, great conversation. He's thinking of selling his home in the next year or so. So I mean, it turned out to be, a great call. I mean, he had called me and I was calling him back, yet, it doesn't matter, right? Because you're just there and you're having those conversations. So eventually, as you keep building your business, the calls are going to come to you. You still need to make calls and find new leads and constantly feed your database, yet your phone, the calls are also going to come into you as well. So.
And one thing I want to add, in case you guys haven't thought about it, some of you may be new to the area, new to the state, whatever, where the bulk of your people may be in a different location. Don't limit yourself to be like, oh, well, I don't need to reach out to them because they're not going to be buying or selling. Referral business is such a huge part of real estate business. So even if your database is in another country, guess what? They have houses there too. And you can connect them with local real estate agents.
Right. I reached out to I'm a former social worker for Department of Children and Families. So I reached out to my former foster mothers, and a couple of them have referrals for me. So I'm going to reach out to them again in a few minutes after we get off. So it was a good conversation.
That's great.
Maggie, do you mind reposting this? Oh, never mind.
I just did it.
Good job
there.
Yeah.
I got it.
This is just blinding it right now. It's funny.
Well, guys, thank you for your time today. Any last thoughts? And it's just about 12 o'clock. I hope you guys all have a great, productive afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. We super appreciate it. Make sure that tomorrow, Maggie or Amanda, I don't have it in front of me. Do you guys know what we're talking about tomorrow?
No idea. Let the suspense keep you in waiting.
I can tell you.
Maggie's going to look it up.
It's set goals that matter.
Awesome. That's right. That's a good one. All right, good. All right, so same time. And just remember, if you do miss any of the sessions, they are all recorded. So you can always go back, make sure that you're in the Facebook group. So that way you guys can all interact together. You can find the past recordings of all of the sessions, and look forward to seeing you guys again. I think I'm on again on the 23rd. So I look forward to seeing you guys all then. Hopefully I have Maggie and Amanda with me too.
What Facebook group is that where we can get all the recordings?
So it is the Ignite 2.0
Ignite.
Facebook group. Yeah, you should have it in your email messages from Keller Williams New England. You should have a link to the group. So there it is. Maggie just put it into the chat. Yep. and
Awesome. Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, so click on those and that way you'll be put in. All right, guys, thanks so much for your time and your participation today. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Great job.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Adios. Thanks,
Ciao.
Rhonda. You're
Thanks,
up.
guys.